I'm Jing Huang. I was born and raised in a small city called Guilin in southern China. I've been living in North America now for 6 years. 6 years could be short. It is too short to be able to adapt myself to the environment here. 6 years could be long. It is long enough to nearly get lost in the city where I lived for almost 20 years. Life is a journey rather than a destination for me. My explorations are guided by new experiences that come from living in an unfamiliar landscape, meeting different people, and experiencing new cultures. When a new life meets an old one, that moment draws me close. Tasting newness and oldness at the same time, I can experience the distance and difference between there and here, then and now. Nature changes a lot. It moves as I have moved. Here in North America, the bottoms of trees are protected with mounds of mulch, surrounded by grass, instead painted white as it is in China. The squirrels and deer are many and run freely. They are not afraid of humans. When the water fell, my first winter here, it was not just rain but the big frozen, the ice storm. The extreme temperature froze the moment and I could see its beauty. Recalling the memory of my hometown and culture gives me the ability to interpret, imagine, and graft all these elements together in a poetic ceramic moment. My work starts with the depiction of my hometown's cast limestone mountains, different than gigantic mountains encompassing our body, or the installation allowing the viewer to walk amongst. Mimicking the landscape in my hand evokes the idea of the miniature. The miniature reflects the power of nature in another way. Small yet, human can envision something huge through it. It is an invitation to come closer, to see additional and different aspects of the works in a new focus. Allowing the scale shift dramatically in one space is essential to my work. It changes our perspective and perception. No matter if the mountain shrinks down to a rock or a stone magnifies the landscape, the rock here is the basic building block, embellished with rivers, clouds, human, birds, and winding paths, becomes a complete world. The scholar's rock is known in my country as Gongshi, meaning respected stones. Unlike the traditional way to display my scholar's rock on top of a wooden base or table, my rock leaning against the wall, on the white cube pedestal, found object, or metal frame, represents the environment. Abstract nature makes the picture not really a mountain or specific landscape anymore, but energy. It resembles the ink painting, the principle and thinking behind it. The brush stroke or sculpture is not only about itself, but also reinforces the empty space and paper. Those untouched space are not determined by the artist, but given, as important as the piece. With these miniatures in the studio, I can get intimately close to nature and wander through mountains and rivers in my mind, no matter those sceneries are coming from my past or current, the East or the West. Tradition means transmission rather than conservation. This transmission does not imply that we simply leave things unchanged, but learning how to grasp and express the past anew. In my recent work, I have been exploring nature, identity, miniature, dislocation, cultures, and conventions. By comparing and utilizing the symbol and value from both the East and the West, I trace my past, trying to find my position. The scene now looks ambiguous. It is neither the picture of my hometown nor the view of here. It is something extracted from a recollection of my life experience and imagination, which comes from the person who appreciates the past and is also willing to embrace the possibilities of the future.